Hi, everybody. I'm immigration lawyer John Kasrabi. It's December 29th, our last live video Q&A before the new year. We're going to talk about U.S. immigration, talking about what's going on, and to help you get general education responses about the U.S. immigration system. Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific every week for about 2 years now I've been doing this. We're going strong. So if you have questions, tune in, check it out. And we give out free video consultations to the live viewers. So if you're watching live, like and press subscribe, and just write consultation, and my wonderful assistant will name off a person every 10 minutes for the 30-minute broadcast. So 3 live 15-minute video consultations are raffled out to people that are chosen that just participate. So it's a good chance you'll get it. Just participate if you're watching live, and we'll get it throughout the show. We'll announce your names every 10 minutes, or the winners are. Also, if you're interested in doing a marriage case, a fiance case, bringing a green card, getting a green card for your important loved one, and just download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. And with that, let's get it started. All right, so we got our questions popping up. Our first one is coming from Adan. Update on F2A. So the F2A category, the family preference second category, is for spouses and minor children of green card holders. What's the update? Very, very bad news. The processing times are getting worse and worse and worse, particularly if you're doing the California Service Center. Usually if you watch the show, you see I don't say any particular service centers worse than the other ones, because they're all, when it comes to time, pretty bad. The California Service Center's estimated times are out of control. And I've been talking to people who are waiting 2 years for an F2A marriage I-130 to be approved. That's ridiculous. Typically, for my own cases, 18 months was the most I had seen on an F2A preference case, spouse of a green card holder. But I had to call somebody 24 months, 23 months or something like that, going on 24. That was out of control. What can you do? We could file a lawsuit for delay. That could potentially work, but it's going to cost money. But that's the news there. And then you have the extra headache of when they go to the U.S. Embassy. When is that interview going to be scheduled? We don't know. So there's just a long waiting. So what I tell clients, and this morning I told the consultation too, is the key is be prepared for a long wait. It's going to take a long time. So what I like you to do is, save your money. If you need money or don't, or whatever money is, use that money to go on vacations where you meet each other. Now, I know you're scared of COVID and traveling during COVID, but you have no choice. Try to just visit each other as much as possible so the relationship doesn't get destroyed through this long wait that could take years. It's a travesty. Is it justice for a marriage case to keep spouses separated for this long? I believe. You got to keep suing the government until it makes some noise, talking to politicians, say, hey, these categories for marriage cases shouldn't have these kind of backlogs. Let's fix this up. How can we do that? So that's what I'm just recommending. But that's the situation right now. Thanks for the question. I wish you the best. DQ asks, hi, hope you have a wonderful holiday. Thank you so much. I am trying to stay away, not getting hit by this COVID bug. All right, Deco follows up. Let's assume the Build Back Better bill passes the Senate. How is it going to help those who are outside the U.S. waiting for their priority to become current? Well, I did a show going about Big Build Back Better Act with my colleague, Anya Sergeva. Check out the YouTube channel. It's there. But essentially, depending on what category you are, they may move the categories forward faster. But practically speaking, because of the delays, there's going to be a long wait anyways to get an embassy appointment. But potentially, your priority could be moved up much faster. So potentially, it could really speed things up. But there's 1,000,001 factors involved. So that's about as general and as specific as I could say. Adan follows up. My case at the MBC stage. Okay, so no longer at the I-130 stage with the delays I was talking about. You're saying your documentary qualified October 2020, and that's the issue. Now you got to wait for the embassy to schedule an appointment, and we don't know how long that's going to take. Some embassies are faster, will do it. Some are just closed. They're not even scheduled. It really depends on the individual decision on that embassy, of that ambassador, frankly, of what they want their embassy to do. So in this kind of case, you just got to wait unless you want to file a lawsuit for delays. That's what some people do. It may work. It may not work. As I mentioned, how much do you charge for a green card application? Well, first of all, I can't talk about prices here and stuff like that, so I can answer that. But when you talk about a green card application, there's a F1 through F5 or 4 green types of green cards. There's EB1 through EB5. There's asylum-based green cards. There's all these different things. So the question itself doesn't make sense. And I don't know enough about you. You may need a waiver. You might be doing consular processing as opposed to doing adjustment of status. You might need to do a perm application. So to say how much does it charge for green card application is like saying how much does it cost for surgery? And you're like, well, the doctor said, what kind of surgery you need? Are you a person who's healthy or unhealthy? There's just too many factors involved. It's not a question I can ask. The reason why I'm answering like this, I'm trying to build an image because I do get this question asked a lot in the same manner. It's just not something that we could be answered like that. Cedar Designer says, good night to you too. Edelanto asks, Mr. Immigration Lawyer, what's taking so long for all the process? Well, there's a lot of different factors. The previous administration sabotaged the system, so it's taking a while. And then we have COVID, closing things down and backing things up. And then we have, not enough staff to handle the cases. When it comes to USCIS, the management issues are really bad. The employees are unhappy, according to the government's own analysis and surveys. So it's a perfect storm of just bad stuff. And so you're going to be caught in these long processing places, unfortunately. Blue Water asks, if someone's on asylum, can their green card spouse apply for him? Yeah, that's possible. You get your green card through there. I mean, if you already have asylum, you could apply for a green card based on your asylum for a year. Now, I've never had a case where I have had one where a U.S. citizen spouse applies for the asylee for citizenship for green card. That was unique circumstances. I don't want to get into here. I never had a green card holder spouse. And the thing about a green card spouse, to be able to adjust status based on INA 245, they have to satisfy certain requirements. So I may or may not be possible. So I'm going to retract the answer saying yes. It's something I have to look into. I also need to review the background of the person's asylum. So I'm not positive. I need to review it. If the green card holder spouse was a citizen, then yeah, it shouldn't have been a problem. But with the green card, I don't know. Plus, there's the issue of you're admitted or not. Just a long story short, Blue Water, I need to research that question with your background and facts before I can answer that. There's a lot of little things that pop up that can be problematic. Most likely in these kind of cases, we say, why don't you just adjust status based on your asylum rather than go through the headache of having a green card holder spouse do it. But if you like schedule a private consultation, we can schedule a time on that. COVID Khalid asks, hi JQK, my immigration petition is already approved, biometrics done, final action date is current. Why is USCI so slow? As I said, they have a lot of cases, not enough people. COVID has slowed things down, sabotaged by the previous administration and within the agency. So it's a lot of bad things happening. Adan Antonio asks, can an immigration lawyer sue the government for taking too long to get back with processing times? Yeah, they do it frequently. Now, you don't need an immigration lawyer per se. You need a person who litigates, sues the government. There are immigration lawyers who do both, and there are people who just do lawsuits on their own. So my office, I don't do lawsuits, but there are a lot of people who do them. But for certain delays, yeah, it's inappropriate. You sue under the Administrative Procedures Act, the APA, saying this is a capricious and ridiculous kind of waiting, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's an option that many more are using nowadays. The number of lawsuits over this issue has gone up like tenfold in the last couple of years. Sirich asks, hi, there's no interview for visas. Is that true? No, there are interviews requirements for visas. Sometimes now they'll waive it in certain cases if the embassy and consulate deems it appropriate. So it's a case-by-case basis, but in certain categories they will waive it. But you have to assume that you can have an interview when you're starting. Donia asks, hi, do you know who is case still NBC, but Hi, do you know whose case is still on embassy, but the person lives in Afghanistan and no embassy? So if your case, the question is a little off the way it was written, but I think you're saying the person is in Afghanistan and they are waiting for their embassy interview, but Afghanistan doesn't have an embassy right now, U.S. embassy. Well, they have to transfer the case. So after the person has to go to another country and request the embassy transfer to another embassy for application processing. I'm not handling these particular kind of cases, but you just have to change the embassy and request it and do the interview somewhere else. Deco follows up. My son's visa category was under F2A. I made a mistake by becoming a citizen. Now he's under F1. Will I lose the earlier priority date? Will they give a new priority date? No. There is a rule under the Child Status Protection Act, CISPA, CSPA, that says if you are F2A and you naturalize, you could maintain the previous category that you're in. So you could contact the U.S. government about it and say, I want to remain in the F2A category, so we get the earlier priority. And for those who don't know, for some reason, it's kind of weird, cases of adult children of green card holders is 1 year faster than cases of unmarried adult children of U.S. citizens. So the F2A or F2B. I mean, the thing is, Deco, the question, first of all, Deco, you're a raffle winner, so we'll talk about this in private. Just take a screenshot of where you're watching this and email it to me. I'll schedule a private consultation. But if the child was F2A and they're under the age of 21 still, and you become a citizen, the case turns into an immediate relative petition, not an F1. If the kid has aged out in some way, they have a rule on this, whether you can still be immediate relative or not. There was a certain case on it that recently passed. I forgot what the exact rule is. But they may still be an immediate relative. Now it's not an F1, but one way or another, they could keep their priority date, and that's that. But email me, take a screenshot where you're watching this, so I know it's you. Email me, and we'll schedule a private consultation. Having said that, for those who are just tuning in, we give out free video consultations during the show. We have 2 more left in 8 minutes or so, and 10 minutes after that. All you gotta do is like, subscribe, and write consultation, and my wonderful assistant will name a person off to give to me behind the scenes, and I'll name them off to schedule a time. And also, if you are thinking about doing a family case, in particular a marriage or fiancé case, download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. And for all those watching, please subscribe to the channel anyways, and like. It helps out a lot, boosts us up. But with that, let's go to the next question. Antoine asks, I filed Form I-751 probably after divorce. What kind of evidence am I going to need? You need all the evidence. You got to show your relationship was real. So what kind of evidence? All the stuff that you have in your relationship. Did you join bank accounts, credit cards? Did you have property together? Did you have lease agreements, car insurance, a car, health insurance, the insurance that when you die, what is it called? Death benefit insurance, whatever. I forgot the name of it. There's just a lot of things. Did you have a lot of mail coming to both houses? Did you have Amazon account together? Photos together, travel history together? You just got to dive deep in your relationship and see what you had to show that you're doing regular couple stuff and the relationship just didn't work out, and then fight it out. FQ asks, does a person have probation? Can he apply for citizenship? You can apply, but your case is going to be denied. So if you have active probation, they will deny your citizenship case. You have to have that cleared out before you can apply for citizenship if you want to get it approved. Can an EAD holder, green card EB3, be a financial sponsor on a case where a U.S. citizen is wanting to sponsor a spouse but doesn't meet the income requirement? No, to be a financial sponsor for an affidavit of support form I-864 in a family-based category, preference category in particular, you have to be a U.S. citizen or a green card holder. As a non-immigrant or whatever category you currently are that has an EAD, you cannot be a financial sponsor yet. So get your green card first, then you can do it. Deco asks, when do you expect the visa bulletin to start moving quickly? I don't have any expectations. I just check every month to see where it is. There's nothing to rely upon with the government, the way it acts, to say these numbers are going to be this way or that way. Blue One asks, do you work in New York? I work everywhere. It depends on certain cases, but my associate Anya is in Virginia, and she could fly to New York if needed. But essentially, almost all the cases we do are all done by either mail or email or uploading stuff to the government. So my location typically doesn't matter. Sometimes you'll need an interview, but again, on the East Coast, my associate Anya could come, or we could find a colleague that can go with you in that certain circumstance. Now, Ozzy, how much is your fees if you apply for brother or sister? I'm a citizen, thank you. Now, Ozzy, we have to schedule a private consultation where I talk with you and your brother or sister to learn about the case more. Then we could talk about the fees after I know the information involved. Sometimes I realize the case isn't possible, so we can't do it. There is a consultation fee, but email the office, info@jqklaw.com, and we can talk about to schedule a private consultation, what the fee for that is, and we take it from there. Newer City Gas, is there any changes for F2A category for visas? Well, I talked about this at the beginning of the show. We had a question. Not much changes other than F2A is just getting longer and longer for the I-130 to be approved, and it's pretty dramatic. I mean, years sometimes. So, at least 1 year, maybe 2, maybe longer. So that's the biggest change I'm seeing, is how much longer and longer that it's taking. And you ask, when will they start issuing visas? That's not up to me. I can't tell you when they'll start issuing visas. And then your next question, how long it takes to get citizenship? After you apply, it varies. But with the question of how long it takes if you had a green card, I did an in-depth video on this, breaking it down really fully in depth. If you go to YouTube and just type in JQK Law and Naturalization, watch the video breakdown. But when you need to apply for citizenship, how soon you could apply, but how long it takes, it varies. It could be 2 months, it could be 2 years on average. No ask, can a U.S. citizen travel to the U.S. on an alien passport if U.S. passport expired? No, technically, if you're going to enter the United States and you're a U.S. citizen, you have to enter with a U.S. citizen passport. Now, CBP can do whatever they want. I had a person who accidentally forgot to bring their passport and only had their foreign passport. And upon entry, CBP, the Customs and Border Protection, the people that run the airports and the land borders and stuff, took a while to go in the system, look up the person, verify identity, all this kind of stuff, and they let them in. But technically, you're supposed to come with U.S. passport, but they can make exceptions at the end of the day. If you're a U.S. citizen, they can't really like not let you in. But that's about it. Noor Sadiq says, thanks for answering. You're welcome. Saima asks, hi, I'm on OPT. It expires in June 2022. I am marrying a green card holder in January. I'm okay. Let's back it up. I'm on OPT. OPT is a special optional practical training. It lets people who are on a student visa work in the U.S. for a year after graduation, so they get on-the-job experience. And it's expiring in 6 months or so. I'm marrying a green card holder in January. Can I apply for the I-130 and I-45 together because my visa expires and processing times are long and I'm worried about losing status? Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you exactly what to do in your case because I need to review it. But generally speaking, if you're in status and you don't have violations or something like that, right now the visa bulletin for the F2A category, spouse of a green card holder, is current. So you can file the form I-130 and I-45 concurrently. That's what the technical term is, but together essentially. And then you just stay in the United States even after your OPT expires, waiting for the final interview and approval. And in the meantime, with that, the sooner you apply, the better, because you can apply for a work permit on it too, so you can continue working. But it's going to take 6 to 10 months to get a work permit. So the sooner you get married, the sooner you file for adjustment of status and file for the EAD, the work permit, the sooner you get a work permit to hold you over after your current OPT expires. So heads up on that, but definitely download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. I think this will be very helpful to explain the process, get to know it better. That's going to be important. But check that out. But thank you for your question. And Salma, congratulations on getting married. A wonderful decision in the new year. Mohammed asks, do we need to submit passport photos to the N400 application? No, it's not a requirement for a naturalization, a citizenship application, to submit passport photos anymore. They stopped doing it a couple years ago. Some field offices say if you're going to change your name, they'll want 2 passport photos. So if you are doing a name change, get it. And some officers just make it up, saying we need 2 at the interview or something like that. But if you're not changing your name, I don't submit passport photos unless people are changing their name. That's the rule I go by now. And that's that. So if you're not planning to change your name, you don't need to send passport photos with the N400 application for naturalization. One for kind asks, can an RFP be extended or submit documents without requesting past deadline given? Unfortunately, USCIS can do whatever it wants. If you request a hardship or something like that, who knows what to do. But typically, it's very rare for you to be able to submit documents after the RFE period has ended. Now, because of COVID, they have given a 60-day extension from the RFE period. So let's say your RFE is a request for evidence. When you've submitted a petition or application to USCIS and they find there's something missing, they'll give you typically 87 days, sometimes 30, but sometimes 87 days to respond. Because of COVID, you get additional 60 days plus that 87 to be able to respond to it. So you may have more time. So you may just not be past the deadline. But typically, it's very hard to almost impossible to give to submit it. You have to redo your petition because they'll be denied. Hopefully, you could take advantage of 60 days, and it's not that bad. Omar asks, 14 months documentary qualified and still not getting interviewed. Yeah, unfortunately, that's what I'm seeing. 14 months is the longest, but I don't have anything really. So what he's talking about is that's the person who has a green card petition pending. They completed the National Visa Center part, and the case is moved on to the embassy, but the embassy is not scheduling an interview. Omar, which embassy are you dealing with? That's the longest I've seen. I have cases that are 13 months now, but 14 is the worst I've seen it, where the embassy is just not scheduling an interview, even though everything is ready to go to have an interview. This is just the travesty and just the horribleness of what's going on if you're doing consular processing. It's not that bad if you're doing adjustment of status if you're in the United States, but if you're going through Department of State, the consular processing embassy system, it's not clear when your interviews will happen. So that's why when people, they go a lot of times to say, how long does this take? How long does that take? This gentleman Omar, 14 months waiting for an interview, still not being scheduled, and we have no information notification of when the interview is going to happen. And that's why when people ask how long things are going to take, it's impossible. I can't predict the future. It's like asking when is COVID going to end? We don't know, and that's because COVID is directly related to a large part of the delays because the embassies don't have enough officers and not scheduling, and they're not going to pretty much do it until they feel less afraid to come to work and restaff and all that kind of stuff. So you could try filing a lawsuit. I did that to one case, and the government's fighting it, but that's about it. Now we have a winner of our raffle, IT Dude. If you're still watching, take a screenshot of where you're watching this and email it to me at info@jqqlaw.com. That's info@jqqlaw.com. And I'll reply with information about scheduling a free video consultation in 15 minutes. For those just tuning in, we give away free video consultation raffles. We have one more left, going to announce in like 8 minutes. All you got to do is like, subscribe, and write consultation. My wonderful assistant Kayla will name a person at the end of the half hour, and we'll try to set up a time to talk. And again, if talk about this, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. If you're interested in learning about marriage and fiancé visas, download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. You're going to really enjoy it. It's going to go far, and you're going to like it. So with that, let's go to the next question. Deku follows up. Thank you so much. You've answered my question now. I hope the Build Back Better BBB bill passes, or the visa bulletin starts moving quickly. You're welcome. I hope so too. Well, BBB it's a mess, but at least the visa bulletin goes faster. Saima says, thank you so much. You're welcome. Appreciate it, Saima. Salud asks, deported and married to U.S. citizen, can we apply for a green card? We have to see why you're deported. That doesn't give me enough information. So you need to schedule a private consultation. My office does not handle cases where a person has deportation history, so I wouldn't be able to help you, but definitely talk with an attorney in private. There's too much information that needs to be known that just the word deported doesn't give us enough guidance. One for kind follows up. Thanks for answering your question. I see online 60 days automatic extension until January 15, 2022. Yeah, I mean, it's even longer than that. I think they give it so for cases a little longer, but at least the extension's happening. Hopefully it helps you out for your case. TikTok says, can I sponsor my mom if I have a green card? No, you have to be a U.S. citizen to do that. That's it. TikTok fam asks, how can I bring her to the United States? That was the same person asked that question. Yeah, TikTok. Well, you can't bring her yourself because you're a green card holder. Become a citizen, apply for her on her own. If she finds a job, it could come. She may win the green card lottery. She may have been an asylee or request asylum or something like that. Those are the things, but there's not much you can do to bring her here. She could file for a tourist visa to come and visit, but just visit. Those are off the top of my head, but I'd have to talk in private to see if there's something else, but probably that's it. But I can't give you individual legal guidance. Mohammed follows up. USCIS is asking time extension on delayed green card lawsuit. Is this bad sign or toward approval? Thank you. Well, talk with your lawyer, but typically they want more time because they're overwhelmed, and your lawyer's probably going to give it to them to be cordial. But it doesn't mean anything. It just means they haven't got to answering it yet. They're trying to delay it too. So that's all that means. It doesn't mean much. One for kind. However, I wasn't able to understand if that qualified for all RFE or not so through the better requirement extended. I don't know. I have to see what kind of, I mean, generally it's listed. If you have a request for evidence with USCIS, you get this automatic extension. But to be more specific, I have to redraw RFE and get into it. It's not something I can answer. I don't want to get case-specific advice, give you legal advice like that. But it's just this rule exists. Whether it applies to you, I don't know. Talk with the lawyer you're working with or consult with the lawyer in private for help on that. And you follow up, definitely your suggested help. Once again, thank you. You're welcome. God bless, and hope it works out for you. TikTok fan follows up. Can I get my mom a tourist visa? Well, you can't do anything for her. Your mom has to apply for her own tourist visa to visit. It may or may not be approved. She may or may not get an interview right now with COVID, but it's not up to you. She applies, and they may give it for her to visit. And that's about it. Is it hard? It depends on what country you're from. Depends on your mom's background. It depends on so many factors. I can't say it's hard or easy. Certain countries it's going to be hard, but I don't know anything about you to say how difficult it'll be. But you never know until you apply. So we're reaching the end of the show. Thank you so much. We had a full show of nonstop questions, and I'm trying to. I usually talk really fast. I try to slow it down, not to just run through these. But I love answering all your questions to the extent I can. Because these questions pop up, I know, and it's a hard system. It's very complicated. The way they made things, the rules change every single day. The rules change in some form or fashion. It's hard to keep up on it. Now I teach this stuff, I have courses, so I got to be keeping up on it. but it's that. So we have a note from our regular viewer, 29 Super C. Hi, Attorney Khosravi. Happy New Year to you. Thank you. God bless. I got through my visa. Thank you for your help. Wonderful. Did you enter the U.S.? Are you a green card holder now? Let me know. Make sure to pay the $220 fee to have the visa issued before you enter the United States. And hopefully, once you come in a couple weeks later, if you don't get a Social Security number card, contact the Social Security office and see how you can get it to speed things up. But congratulations. 29 Super C has been watching the show for a long time. Hit with long delays to get his embassy interview and finally did it. Finally got it done. God bless and congratulations. So it's always good news when someone finishes up what they got to do, especially with these long delays that really destroy people's lives. I mean, so many families, couples have such hardships because of these delays. I'm glad it worked out for you. Rosemary asks, I received my approval notice yesterday for F2B category from Jamaica. How long does it take before my embassy will send a welcome letter? Does my priority date have to be current? Priority 2017. I don't know the F2B category times right now to look it up, but a year or so, or you have to look at the bulletin. They'll notify you, they'll email you when it's time. But I don't know the priority dates offhand for F2B category. You can check out the visa bulletin. I'll talk about it. They'll email you before your priority date is current to let you know to get started. But it depends on whenever they want it. Sometimes they send it really early, sometimes late. But before your priority date is current for the final action date, you should be getting the welcome notice. But I'm not close enough to your case to be able to answer that and have to look into it and stuff. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. I guess we'll take one more question. Viola asks, hi, my father is under administrative processing for 4 years and our car embassy is closed. What should we do? Just be patient? No, the only choice now is to sue them for long delays. So get a lawyer that sues and sue them for this administrative processing delays. If your father is from Iran and used to be part of the IRGC, the Sepah, or the Islamic Revolutionary Guards, be careful. They might just deny the case outright, even if it was conscription mandatory. But if that's not the case, then you can sue them, and that solves things most of the time. I want to mention our raffle winner, Salud_14. Thank you so much for joining the show and participating. Please take a screenshot of where you're watching this. Email me at info@jqqlaw.com. You're a winner for a raffle. You'll get a free 15-minute video consultation. For everyone else, just join us again next week, or Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, to talk about U.S. immigration, general information topics, and get a chance to win a free or one of 3 video consultations. Thank you so much. God bless. Be safe. Happy New Year. I'll see you all in 2022. Bye-bye.